The Story Grows. I'm Brian Patton. Today we welcome Drop Dead Gorgeous frontman Danny Stillman to the podcast. Drop Dead Gorgeous signed with the Artery Foundation not that long ago and have released 3 brand new singles, all of which you'll hear clips from in this episode. Danny talks about getting into heavy music later in life and finding his place in the metalcore scene, what brought the band back to life, the impact losing Kyle Browning had on the band, the plan for new music, and more. Thanks so much for checking out this episode of As the Story Grows. If you're brand new to the podcast, welcome. You can find links in our show notes or at asthestorygrows.com for our mailing list, our Discord server, and our Patreon page. If you aren't subscribed to the podcast, I would love it if you subscribed on your podcast platform of choice. Enjoy today's conversation with Danny from Drop Dead Gorgeous.
I think I did something bad.
I got like way into lighting recently because I'm doing like some other video stuff.
Oh, yeah.
I'm way overcomplicating it. Tried to do like a headlight or a rim light and it's just not working right now. So
Yeah. It's fine. It's all good. This is all going to be audio anyway, so.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But your video looks great. Super clear.
Yeah, it's good practice for me because I'm doing like, I have like a studio I'm running, so I'm working on doing like content and stuff. So
Okay. Nice. That's cool.
Messing with that stuff.
That's cool. Talking to you and talking about Drop Dead Gorgeous is like interesting and fascinating because like during the band's initial run, like that was not what I was into at all. Like that whole Rise Records, MySpace core scene or whatever, like I don't know if I was just too old for it at that time because I was in my mid-20s already. And so like the whole like fashion vibe and like music style was not for me. And then like to go back and revisit it later now that like I'm in my 40s, it's like interesting to be like all these bands were really good and I just like judge them poorly.
Yeah, it's funny how that works, man. There's a lot of bands like that for me too. Even like the Drop Dead scene, I was like, I wasn't that into it from the very beginning, and then I kind of evolved, you know.
Yeah. Was there something about it that was it like the fashion angle you didn't vibe with, or the music, or what?
It was initially the music because like I didn't really. The first screaming thing that I got into was Drop Dead, as far as like a band that I've been in.
Okay.
I was kind of more in the like Taking Back Sunday type of realm.
Okay.
And even before that, it was like a slow progression because before that, it was like more like Blink-182.
Gotcha.
New Found Glory, stuff like that. And then I slowly just like got eased into it because I think like it's hard to just go straight to that.
Yeah.
So for me, it was like a slow thing. And at first it was like a love-hate thing. I just couldn't stand it. And then it just slowly a lot of my friends listened to that stuff. And I was just like, so I don't, you know how it is when you're younger. It's like, if your friends are into something and you don't like it,
yeah,
eventually it might wear down on you and you start to like try to like it. And then eventually you actually do like it, you know? So that's kind of what happened to me. And like, you know, like I think it was like Finch.
Okay.
Finch and like The Used were like some of the earlier bands that started getting me, like leaning me in that direction, you know? And then like the one that changed it all for me was like Under Oath.
Okay.
Like They're Only Chasing Safety. I feel like that just reached a whole different audience.
Yeah.
Out of that scene. And I was like, wow, this is cool, man. Like this is something really new.
Yeah.
Like Screaming went from something where I was like, man, this is just like so crazy and weird to like, it was just like everything. Like I was like, oh, this is just like so fun. Cause like once you see bands live that do that, if you've never really seen it before, like once I started seeing bands do that, I was like, man, I get why people like it. Cause live, it's just like, it's really exciting.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. Which is so funny that you talk about Under Oath and Chasing Safety, because when I first heard Under Oath, it was like that second EP where they were like super black and death metal or whatever.
Oh yeah.
And then by the time Chasing Safety came out, I was like, what the fuck is this emo bullshit?
I feel you. I was the opposite end because I honestly had never really heard. I had never heard Under Oath.
with Drop Dead coming back, obviously your fan base has grown up. How has the response been, and like how have you seen the audience change?
Well, I mean, in respect to like our actual audience, or you mean like just like the scene in general?
Your actual audience.
So our actual audience, I mean, obviously they're a lot older,
Right.
It's kind of wild because like, yeah, when we started, it was such like a teenager type of fan base and movement, and we were kind of like we were teenagers or young adults. So, it's like I never pictured myself being at my age playing shows. It's nothing I ever even thought about. And I also could have never pictured like some of our fans being grown adults, like real grown-ups with like real jobs, real careers, like in kids and bringing their kids to the shows. It's like it's wild to me. Like I just remember like a lot of our fans would be like coming to to the merch table, being like young teenagers, like buying some shirts. Like sometimes their parents would bring them even, and it's just like it's absolutely crazy to see like grown adults come into our shows, like 20 years later.
Yeah. It's wild to go to shows and see the average age of the audience. It's like feeling like people are still my age and not younger. I'm like, eventually that has to trickle down, right? I hope at one point.
Yeah, I mean, it's also funny too because like when we used to play shows, like there was no bar.
Yeah.
Like in the early days, and like a lot of our shows, tours and stuff were like in VFW type of situations where there just was no bar, period. And then later on, if there was a bar, nobody was there except for maybe the parents or something. It's just like so. It's crazy now that like, all these people are like in their 30s and stuff, and or late 20s.
Yeah. What was kind of the genesis moment for the band deciding to get back together and work on new music and play shows again?
It's something that had kind of been like brewing for like probably like 5 years before it actually came to fruition. It's like a really slow burn. It was kind of one of those things where like we all wanted to do it, but we also understood the commitment and like the amount of time it would take to like get it started up again, like figure out logistically how we actually can play live shows again. It wasn't just like, oh, we could just start up tomorrow and just play a show next weekend. It was like, this is going to be like 6 months or more of time. And honestly, it was even more work than I thought it was going to be, but it was, we just kept talking about it forever. And then usually like, it's just like the biggest barrier was like the amount of work it was going to take. And then the obstacles of like being grown-ups and having different lives and trying to figure out how that can actually work out and can we make it happen. Cause we, a lot of us have kids and stuff, and jobs. So like for me, what finally did it was like I broke my ankle. And so that gave me a lot of downtime. So I was like on workers' comp and stuff. And so I actually had the time to like invest into like making this really happen.
Yeah.
And I think everything kind of followed suit from there. And, I had to like learn how to scream again. I hadn't screamed for like 15 years. So I was like going through those growing pains again, The second time's a little easier than the first time, but it was frustrating and like discouraging and at first, and then I just kind of like realized like, okay, well, I started to get a little bit more in the groove, and then once I finally like, it's like a learning curve. I finally like broke through a little bit, and then I was like, all right, I'm kind of back where I started, and and then I was like, it's kind of like if you build something and you get a chance to build it again, like you change a few things. So like I kind of learned a couple different techniques that I would have never known back when I was like 18 or 19. And so I feel like, improving on some things and then also realizing there's certain things that just aren't going to sound exactly the same 20 years later. So it's like figuring out how to adapt that to the old songs at the same time, like what's going to be my new like sound or identity for the songs, going forward and everything. And so it's just like a lot of that trial and error, just like like self exploration and everything.
Yeah.
But you know, a good process, like I said, like there's certain things that like obviously are going to be different as I'm older, but at the same time, there's some things I think I have improved on over the years with technique and stuff. So like I'm trying to just lean into the stuff that I can do better now.
Yeah.
Than what I used to not. The things I used to struggle with, I feel like are turning more into my strengths.
Yeah. I mean, there's something to be said when you're 18 and just full of energy and don't care and will just go out and blow your voice out and just like do it, as opposed to like you had vocal lessons now and like warm up techniques and know how to better take care of yourself and be trained now. And so it's like, yeah, that knowledge base is better. And so plus the wealth of information at your fingertips is like
being intentional, you know?
Yeah.
And like live is different than recording. Sometimes recording, I'll try to tap into that horrible technique or whatever just to get a certain sound, you know, it just depends. But live, I feel like I have much more of an ability to like control it so that I just have more control over it, you know, and it's not just like this, like whatever comes out. And like, I feel like I have a little bit more control over it. So, you know, that's a fun thing. I mean, I've always like screamed in my own way, but, it's interesting. I mean, there's certain ways that you're kind of supposed to do it.
Yeah.
And I've always been like more the fry screamer where it's not going to destroy my voice. So
yeah.
I do that, but there's also other things that like technique wise, I could probably refine it more, but then I guess it would take away like my identity a little bit. So it's kind of a fine line. Same thing with singing. It's like if you sing perfect and properly, you kind of lose some of that identity or like their overall vibe or emotion too. So you got to balance those things.
Yeah. Was there ever, all right, let me rephrase this. How much did the impact of Kyle passing away kind of hinder the band getting off? Did that play a role as well?
It did. I mean, a huge role. I mean, even now, I think early on, it was actually like we were really getting close to reforming right before he passed.
Mm-hmm.
And so that like set us back. Obviously, we were just like, you know, very upset about it, obviously. And it's like that pushed us back at least a year where we just like, we don't even want to think about that anymore. Mm-hmm. And then at some point, it's like we kind of healed a little bit and we were just like, and at the same time where like I broke my ankle and we were kind of just, it almost like motivated us. It had the opposite effect where once we had kind of like healed a little bit, it was kind of more like we want to do this a little bit for him in a way too, you know? Because like for me personally, it's like we were about to do it and he wanted it probably more than anyone to do it in the band. And like I felt like it was like once he had passed and we had kind of healed, I was like, he wanted it this bad and we were about to do it. It's like we have to see it through now, you know? And kind of like his legacy, like kind of like move his legacy forward.
You guys have partnered with Artery Foundation, who rebooted last year. How'd you get connected with the label?
You know, I think our manager, Will, he's worked for Artery forever. And so like, he was always in contact with them and like, they're from the same area in Sacramento. So we had kind of talked to some different labels and we ended up talking to Artery and like they were trying to restart Artery at the same time we were trying to put some music out. So it was like really good timing and like it just felt really natural. There was like really no like back and forth. It was kind of just like we both want to do this, like let's just do it, you know? Yeah. So
with the way the music industry works these days, you can kind of do whatever the fuck you want, right? Like you're not bound to the album format. You guys have released a handful of singles. Was that kind of the intention of just like, you know, dipping your toes back in the water and like, here's a new song and seeing how people react? Or was it just like, you know, this is part of a grander process for an album?
I think it's like a little bit of both. I think, you know, when you release one single, it's always, you have an advantage because you can see what like the feedback is and take that into account where it's like not like you made an entire album.
Yeah.
So that there's that advantage. But the biggest thing for us, I think, was just like with like the way songs are released and how much content is out there. For us, it felt like if you do one at a time, as opposed to dropping 10 at a time, it's like you can continue to get engagement and yeah, you can kind of stay on people's radar a lot longer than if you drop 10 songs at once. I feel like it just kind of falls into the abyss unless you have like an insane amount of hype on what you're doing.
Yeah.
I think like one at a time seems to be a good way to do it, and just waterfall them, keep dropping them, build up momentum, and then maybe drop an album or just combine them all together and form it into an album, which seems to be kind of the thing that a lot of bands will at least release like 3 or 4 singles until they, combine it into an album. So we're kind of just like figuring it out as we put music out and trying to like adapt and pivot,
Yeah. Because it's been 15 years, some sort of gap like that between, when the band kind of fizzled out and now. How has your approach to writing lyrics changed? Is there something from how you used to write that you still want to bring into this new iteration of the band? Or are you just like, I'm a different person now and I'm not tapping into those young feelings anymore?
It's a combination. I try to tap into those feelings, but in a little bit more of like a mature, controlled way. Whereas like I'll have like more of like a story arc, whereas back then I would just like kind of go with whatever. And sometimes they were incomplete thoughts, and that was just kind of the thing, and now it's like I try to make sure it's like a cohesive story from beginning to end where it like makes more sense. It's probably the biggest difference. And yeah, I try to like, it's probably a little less angsty, naturally, when you're getting older. It's trying to be angsty when you get older. It isn't going to come off. It's not going to come across as genuine. I think it would just sound weird. So I do as much angst as feels natural for me.
Yeah. Gotcha.
Yeah. Which I still have a lot of that left, but probably not to the level of when I was like 18.
Right. It's a different level of, I don't know, anger or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. You guys have released 3 singles thus far. What is kind of the plan for releasing music? Is it just kind of as things are done, they're coming out? Or is it like tracks are done and there's a like timeline and calendar?
We have like a rough calendar usually. Like we're generally wanting to put a song out anywhere between like 4 to like 6 weeks ideally, but that never works. It always ends up being more like 2 months or something. Like we have like right now we have 3 songs that are done and unreleased, and so we have a new one coming out like in early March, and 2 other unreleased ones, and we're going into the studio in April to do another 4 or 5. So we kind of like just focus on writing, recording, and then like have a rough plan of when we want to release these songs, and things can change. If we're doing like a radio song or like a radio push and things are still have momentum, we're obviously going to let that ride until we put out another song.
Yeah.
So we don't want to step on singles and stuff. So there's a little bit of that. And there's also just like, there's like different festivals that sometimes we're like, maybe we want to align this next single drop with like Warped Tour or something. So
yeah. From a musical side and perspective, like, are you guys concerned or thinking about like being, Drop Dead Gorgeous and tapping into that classic sound, or is it more just evolving and like to where you are now and what's interesting you and interesting to play right now?
It's a little bit of both. I think we probably lean more into like, ultimately we want to make music that we enjoy and makes us happy. Because at this stage in our life, why would we do anything else,
Right.
But at the same time, if we can make stuff that feels genuine and it is our best like work and it does appeal to the older sound, then that's great too.
Yeah.
But forcing it one or the other just honestly doesn't work. It's like sometimes it just does come out and there's parts in our songs that totally sound more like old Drop Dead, and then there's other parts that don't. And there's no like, if we try to make it like old Drop Dead, it just seems like we're like taking a step back or something, or forcing ourselves to do something that we're not naturally wanting to do. So
Yeah.
It's always a catch-22 when you come back after, as long as we've been away. It's like you could be, lots of bands kind of pick up where they left off. Other bands completely change. Like, it's like we're trying to like do a little bit of both, but it's a tough thing, because I mean, things are recorded differently than they used to be as well. So even if we like literally re-recorded In Vogue or something, it wouldn't sound like In Vogue did. So
right.
it's not even that we're writing that much different. It's just that production and recording is so different than it used to be. So
yeah,
there's a little bit of that too.
Yeah. Outside of new music on the way for this year, there's a handful of show dates around your Warped Tour, other dates. Is the plan just to kind of do these festivals and hit, I don't know, some of the random offshoot shows, or is there plans to like try to do a big tour? Obviously that's more difficult with jobs and kids and families.
Yeah, that's the biggest thing, is the families and the kids and careers and stuff. Right now it's kind of just like weekend warrior stuff.
Yeah.
It's kind of what we're shooting for. And then just like big festivals. Big festivals are like ideal, because it's like the biggest bang for our buck. It's like it's one weekend, it's going to reach the most amount of fans are going to be able to see it. We've done like 2 runs. We did like a California run and a Texas run.
Mm-hmm.
So that was kind of like feeling stuff out, seeing like what actually works. And like it's definitely a grind to do like a 2 or 3 day little run. Like festivals are definitely easier, just one show.
Yeah.
So I mean, that's kind of where we're at right now, but I mean, who knows what the future holds. Like if we keep writing music and keep releasing it and things build to a certain point, it makes sense to do an actual tour. Yeah. Nothing's out of the question, but for right now it's kind of like festivals.
Yeah. Do you appreciate that kind of newfound freedom to just create and release as you want and not have to worry about like going out on tour and recouping a bunch of money and like, being on the road all the time?
Yeah, I mean, that's amazing. That's like the easiest way to get burnt out, is like being on the road for a couple of years. It's like a whole different mentality than, like back in the day, we'd like record something and play it for like 2 years straight.
Yeah.
I can't even imagine that now. It's like we drop a single and then we're on to the next one before we even play it live, basically. So
yeah,
it's definitely a different process for sure.
Yeah.
I don't know. I can't speak for bands that are touring right now, because we're not, but it just seems a way different. Like when we hung it up, it was like Spotify, I think it just started as a company. It wasn't even like a thing. And that has transformed the industry like so much.
Yeah.
It's like you don't even sell CDs at your shows anymore. It's like now it's like you sell vinyls, if anything, but
well,
so that's way different.
Yeah, even the way venues have changed, the way Live Nation has bought up so many venues, it's like go into a venue and it's like, this t-shirt is $60, and I'm like, fuck.
I know, it's crazy.
That's insane.
We were like, what do we even do for merch prices? We're like, man, like we used to sell shirts for like $10 or $15.
I know. Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah, I saw a band at a small venue recently, and t-shirts for like $20, and I was like, oh, you can still do that. Look at that. It's great.
Now it's because they're not taking a crazy merch cut and all kinds of stuff. Like it's wild how that works.
It is wild.
You get me higher.